Hey, Nick, we need a tagline for the podcast.
No.
Real life opinions. Movie reviews told by fans and not critics.
Yeah.
People once believed that when someone dies, a crow carries their soul.
And so that's the movie.
That's the movie.
Oh, that one probably. Here's the first question: Is it better because of the story behind Brandon Lee?
No,
In a subliminal way. I mean,
I don't think it's better. It's sadder.
Yeah, it is.
It's sadder. But I wouldn't say that it's better. I mean, it's called classic, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's just. Well, I guess. I don't know. Have you ever seen it as follow stuff after that? They came out with this bad laser tag thing, and it's just like they should have buried anything after that and said, "Nope, the world doesn't get to see it. We get to live with this version."
Well, they should have left it at that version.
Yeah.
So, no, after that one, I can honestly say no. I stopped watching them.
Yeah. So, and on that note, what's your thoughts on the remake? I know, who was it, Cory or Jeff was commenting, well, they're not remaking the movie, they're remaking the comic book.
No, they are remaking the movie. The plot line's exactly the same. It's all the same. It's just a different actor. And I don't know if anybody believes in the whole Hollywood bullshit, but the movie's cursed.
And I think you can't remake a movie like that without the influence of the original movie. So
the main actor's dead.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you shouldn't touch. You should never touch. What's a movie they should never remake too? On that note,
A lot of movies.
There's a few movies. I mean, they're never going to remake stuff like Dead Poets Society and whatever. Cause,
they're going to try.
They're probably.
I mean,
I know. It used to be Breakfast Club, but that's kind of, it's getting far enough back there where and Hollywood's getting so far out there, I'm starting to not care anymore. But
actually, on that note, my husband, I'm not sure if I like him right now, actually called me old today. Movies that came out in 85, he's like, you want to watch an old movie? Like, fuck off, jerk.
Yeah. So, technically this would be called nostalgia bait, as my terms, would it not?
It would be nostalgia bait, yes.
Yeah, so, should we switch now?
Yeah, we can switch now.
We're not doing The Crow. I would like to, but I want everybody there, because I think this is kind of on everybody's list.
Oh, I think I could egg Cory and Jeff on if we do The Crow.
Yeah.
I think I could egg them on. It's like doing the Poltergeist. You can't tell me that one's not cursed either. And they remade that.
So,
well, it's not a remake.
So, leading off, what's your opinion on potatoes? Where do you stand on potatoes?
I love potatoes.
What's the best version of potato?
Homegrown, just not with human shit.
Oh, so if it's fertilized with human shit,
nope, I ain't touching it.
We don't want to touch it unless you're 380 million
souls.
So, souls is a day.
Oh, okay.
I believe, yeah, or a day. It's because a Mars day, or what is it? Mars?
Yes.
Mars day is longer than an Earth day, so I think it's 24 hours. Is my guess.
Well, I know they're 10 months away.
Yes, yeah, they're 10 months away. So we're doing The Martian.
Matt Damon.
It is the best true story that's not true. It feels like this is based on a true story. Blah blah blah.
It feels like it could be, but and I seriously cannot remember the name of that movie. But you gotta watch the one with Schwarzenegger. Like you get.
Oh, Rico?
Was it Total Recall?
The one that with, yeah.
Yeah, Total Recall. Yeah, you get any of that.
Recall.
But you get any of that atmosphere actually into your lungs, and your face is going to turn red and swell up, and
eyes are going to bug out.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're going to pop like a melon.
There was a huge Mars flood. Like after Recall, then there was Red Planet. What was the one with the robot cat thing that was killing everybody?
The robot cat thing?
Mission to Mars. The Red Planet.
Yeah.
And they came out with a few. So one of the android robot things to support them turned into a cat, and I think that was Val Kilmer.
I don't remember that one. There was also it's not actually a Mars movie, but they actually bring up space. But no, Space Between Us was a Mars movie. It's a romance. Yeah.
Not like romance and Mars. Well, you got to connect Venus. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Because the whole thing with the Space Between Us is it was a kid that was actually born on Mars, so he was adapted to Mars. He could go in the atmosphere and all that stuff, but he couldn't sustain life on Earth because the gravity's different.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I think the emotional impact in this movie, I just found myself so often thinking about the emotional weight that these people have to go through. The assumed...
Right, because at this point, just this point in the movie, like, they're leaving because of the storm, and they leave behind Matt Damon's character.
Now, would they all have died if they would have stopped to try and save Matt Damon?
He didn't, so I don't think they would have.
That's true. So they would have... Yeah.
They most likely would have lived, and everything that he goes through would have been more bearable.
Yeah, but it would be a lot shorter because the food sources.
Yes. But they have the engineer and everybody there, plus their ship and all that, so they probably would have gotten out of there a lot easier.
Yeah. No, that'd be interesting. And I like the characters, the actors in here. It's very... these were all kind of up-and-comers, except, Michael Pena was kind of... He's that hardcore supporting actor. Always done it. What's his name? Winter Soldier.
Bucky?
Bucky, yeah. He's in this before he was really...
Before he was anybody. I'll never know his name. He's just Bucky.
Oh, man. And they're all recognizable characters.
All of them are. Because even the two main females for the space shuttle have been in big movies prior to this.
What was her name? The captain there. She's like that poker Molly person.
Yeah.
Jessica Chastain. Is that her?
I think.
Kate Mara. Sebastian Stan.
Yes.
Chiwetel Ejiofor. I can't name him.
Chudel? Chudel? Something or something?
Chudel?
Yeah. But, Kate Mara, she's been in a lot.
Oh, I know. She's so familiar. Christine Wiig. That's kind of an odd role for her to play.
Yes.
Great character, though. Who else we got on here? It was just like, it was Jeff Daniels just floored me.
Yeah.
Okay, you're talking about a guy with the kindest face, the kindest eyes, and now he's playing...
a dick.
But, he's playing the logistical side of everything, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It was honestly, in this movie, it was Sean Bean's character that surprised me.
I was going to say, Sean Bean, he didn't get to die.
Right?
He's so confused.
He lives, so it's like, now I want your resignation. Well, what the hell?
Yeah, no, and to see him play something that's not a douchebag, too. Or at least, in some sense.
Right? Because he's always a dickhead.
Naomi Scott. She looks familiar, but I don't remember her. And actually, the other one, too. You watched Ted Lasso?
No.
I loved it. I can't think I both watched it, but the little guy from Ted Lasso is in there. His name's Nick Mohammed. He's just a little character, but it's funny how you.
Right. I like the their astral engineer in this one. He's so weird.
I found it interesting that all the characters, well, not all of them, but they were kind of deadpan, kind of. You know, later on in the movie, when there's this emotional crux of everything, they're all pretty calm, which makes sense.
Right. And I think, cinematic-wise, the way that they did this, the character having the most emotion, the most build and everything, should have been Matt Damon's character.
Yeah.
So, even everybody on Earth, they're talking about it, they're trying to figure everything out, and they're so downplayed.
Yeah.
And it worked well. But if we go back to Total Recall at this point, he should be dead.
Oh, yeah. And then, I'd like to know a little more of the science, because a little bit of duct tape solves it later on again, too. You know?
But he got stabbed through the suit.
Yes. And it said the coagulated, he states later on that the blood and sealed up the suit, which allowed him to, something like that. I remember that. It's odd that I caught that, because I wasn't looking for it.
The dirt and the sand and everything else, it's all enzymes that our human body is not used to.
Yeah.
Should have killed him.
One would think. So I would say that is probably the most far-fetched aspect of this.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we're on Mars, which we haven't gone there yet, but the fact that he was stabbed on Mars, pressure, is probably the most pushed of our suspension of disbelief. Everything else is so grounded, and I blame Matt Damon for this. You can see this nuance of emotion and how he's so, just get to it. I think he says that at the end.
Yeah.
Just get to it.
Right. You know, you're gonna have to do sciencey stuff. You're gonna have to do stuff that you never thought imaginable.
Yeah.
Yes, I survived on potatoes. I grew out of my own shit. Just do it.
Yeah. Solve the first problem.
Yep.
That's what he says in his thing. Then you solve the next one. And you just keep at it. Yeah. Yeah. And he has such a... just that calmness to him. And you'd expect pilot, who is it? The Canadian pilot that, the astronaut,
oh, God, he was just
yes.
at the schools visiting.
Yeah, he came down, and every astronaut has to be almost a doctor, almost
Yes.
an electrician, almost. They've got to be everything, because, you know.
Well, if you look at this, after he's been stabbed, you got to be able to do surgery on yourself.
You know, he pops himself with that numbing stuff or whatever it is before he did that.
And then he's pulling out a bullet.
Yeah, or the tip of the antenna, which is why he can't communicate. So.
He should have left it in. Theoretically. You leave it in, you can talk to them.
Yeah. Is this a Ridley Scott movie? I believe
No, I want to know.
I want to say it's a Ridley Scott.
I don't know, but now I really want to know. See also First Man. Ridley Scott. Director Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The writer was absolutely spot on, too.
So the screenplay was done by Ridley Scott and Drew Goddard.
Okay.
So, you know, that's where they get a lot of it,
Well,
but...
better than giving it to a hack. What would this be like if Michael Bay did it?
Oh my god. We need more explosions!
Yes. More flame in space.
You know, at this part, after he's doing the surgery on himself, I have to say it would probably be the most realistic because his face actually pales.
Yeah.
It's not like all the other ones that you watch. They're doing the surgery and it's like, I'm fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of that nasty trope where you just like to toughen up and it's just,
But he's sore. he's in pain.
Limping around for the next 20 minutes of the movie, or 15 minutes. Like, it's
Yeah, about 15, and then he decides that he's going to,
I think it's when he says, he reaches down, I popped a staple.
Yeah.
And I think that was the last time we addressed that.
He's digging the trenches for his
potatoes.
For his shit potatoes. And staples popped.
Yeah.
But, how do you... Pressure, 12.47 psi. Oxygen, 20.68%. How the hell is he breathing?
Well, how much what is our oxygen content in real life? Here. I mean, it's oxygen, nitrogen. Our atmosphere is oxygen, nitrogen, what? So.
I don't know. But now, are they actually adjusting that as that's the amount of oxygen? Or is
the atmosphere in the dome.
Yes.
The biodome. I don't ever want to critique that movie. So I would like to point that out.
Vive las biodome.
Pauly Shore.
That's why I said their oxygen was, 28?
What's that?
I said their oxygen was, 28?
Yeah.
21%.
Oh, okay.
Is ours. So it's
well,
not bad.
Oxygen.
Yeah. But no, if we did, honestly, Mike, if we did biodome, I would literally be sitting there the whole time going to Viva las biodome. Because I can do it perfectly. And I don't need to be stoned to do it.
I was never into Pauly Shore stuff.
I liked Pauly Shore. I didn't like in the army now. But we are pulling a mic. Jeff and Cory are detouring.
Well, biodome is still kind of peripheral. A little bit.
Right? He's looking into biodome.
Yes. Like a 5% peripheral. So
yeah,
we're hanging on to a thread.
I mean, they were trying to terraform Earth.
What's the longest time you've ever been alone as an adult? Without communication, without...
Does my family count?
Well, no, because like I'm an extrovert type person, so growing up, if someone wasn't around me every day for something, I would go nuts. So yeah, I'm trying to think if I was gone somewhere on a trip alone and how many days before I would go nuts?
I've never been away from somebody. I mean, I've been married 3/4 of my life, so...
Kathy went away for 3 days last week, and I really didn't like it.
Right, so...
A lot.
So, like, even with Mark, he's been away, since... We're just going to use the last 2 months as an example. He's been gone over half of it. And so I've had the kids around.
Yeah.
But it's been really... just,
I think Jeff is hyperventilating. I'm guessing the game isn't going well.
I'm going to have to ask. Sorry. Hockey break.
Hockey break.
Are they
2-1.
Are
for the right team. Oh, the wrong team. No, which team? Depending on the team you're listening that you want to win. So, it is 2-1 for the Panthers.
So if you guys haven't figured it out yet, Jeff and Cory are huge Oiler fans.
Yeah.
So I had to rub salt in the wound with Jeff and his hyperventilating gif. And are they losing? Curious minds want to know, but according to Mike, yes, they are.
I've made the decision right now. I'm going to live vicariously through Laura. See, I can't harass Jeff as much. I can set Laura up for that, and Laura can harass Jeff.
And I like doing it.
So are you an introvert?
I'm a little bit of both, depending on what's going on. Like, I like to be alone. I like solitude. I like nobody talking to me, especially when I'm in a really pissy mood. But I also I like being around people. I'm more introverted now because of my job.
Yeah.
But I used to be more like, yeah, I'll come hang out. Let's do this. Let's do that. It didn't bother me. I mean, I used to go for karaoke night. Now I really just don't like people.
Well, I've grown. I wanted to live the dream. I wanted to live a beer commercial or that's what I want. I wanted parties. I wanted people around. I wanted all that for so much of my life, and then it's like, nope, I've shrunk that down. Then like, I'm really good with 4 to 6 people at a time. When I'm doing a play, like we got 20 people in here, but in Midsummer's Night Dream, but I'm kind of like, I'm only directing like 5 at a time.
See, that's not so bad. I direct, including owners. Gotta add the owners in there. I direct like between 67 and 80 people in a month, including the owners.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to interact to some level with all of them, right? Yeah, so.
And some of them, you
I was
just
going
want to
to
be
ask you that. That's something I wanted to ask you. Is like, how happy are you at your work? Is there a point in which you have to, for your own sanity, say, I quit? Are we anywhere close to that?
Oh, we're getting close. We are getting real close. I'm at the point right now where I would love to stab him in the eye with a rusty pen. Right? I don't know if pens get rusty, but I want one. Down by 1, so they're losing. He's responding to me.
So enough of the hockey game. I've grown beyond digital sports. Sports are for playing, not for watching. Anyway, back to it. Looking at Matt Damon and all his, he's such a nuanced actor, right? You can't do that on stage.
Pop the stitches.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, the staple came out. Yeah. But we're at the point where he's using poly.
20. I was amazed, and I that's one thing I'm curious about. Is the pressure that stable that he could get away with later on when the door blows and he just taps it up, or when he exits the atmosphere in a tarp? I mean, it's just like...
Considering that... Okay, now that's a NASA tarp.
Yes.
Granted, it's a NASA tarp. But if they're using the same fibers that are available to us, like anywhere, it's a pretty basic tarp. Based on what you're seeing there, it kind of looks like a typical camping tarp, like a tent tarp, one that you can make your own shelter out of.
Yeah.
Albeit shinier. And yeah, I don't know if that. I really don't think that would work.
Yeah.
I really don't. They
use the logic that the atmosphere is so thin it wouldn't matter. So that's the logic within the movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
And apparently nose plugs don't help you. And those aren't even nose plugs.
Can taste it. No.
Yummy!
Your taste buds and your olfactory senses are still connected. So that's what I've heard. You can actually taste it through your nose and almost smell it through your tongue. I don't know if that's true. You can.
I'm not even gonna Google that.
Yeah.
I can say at this point, because I watched this with Mark last night, and at this point, he's watching how he's burying them, and he turned around and he goes, coming from a farm, I only have a couple complaints. They would never, or at least he never did it growing up, put the fertilizer down and then the potato on top of it, and then bury it. He's like, no, you just kind of mix it into the dirt type
That's
thing.
what I would have thought too.
Right? And then he goes, and that little bit of water that he had and that he just kind of squirted on top, not a hope.
Well, yeah, I would have to assume that he added water later on. That there's some sort of
he actually says it how he makes water.
Yeah, the evaporation technique or whatever.
Yes, using hydrogen and...
Yeah.
But, yeah, to begin with the amount that he put on him, not a hope.
No, I wouldn't think so. But. So, another thing I noticed, too, is just everybody talks about pacing and that. This is a very slow-paced.
I don't even find it slow.
Well,
it's even.
I know what you're saying. The pacing is perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But it is, like you say, if you want to put that up to an action film, it's definitely not going to work. But the pacing is intended, and it is so intentional, and it draws you into every little moment. And we almost, at some points, start feeling like we're there with him. That same tension.
Very much so. Like, and for me, and it goes back to the introvert extrovert thing, is
he's
holy
cutting up a
sacrilegious.
crucifix. How did this not get banned?
Right.
Yes.
But but this whole thing goes back to the whole introvert extrovert thing. I do not like movies where the whole movie solely revolves about one person or character for the entire movie.
Oh, they're tough. They're incredibly hard to do. The phone booth, Buried Alive,
Gravity.
Yeah.
Like those were.
Did you care for that one?
No.
It was tough. I didn't think it was bad. The visuals kind of made up for it.
The visuals are about the only thing that made up for it, but the whole it was literally just her.
Yeah.
And Buried Alive, same thing. I love Ryan Reynolds. Don't get me wrong. But that movie, my God.
It is. It's like, how do you get engaged? How do you find relatability when you're trapped into this?
If you're claustrophobic, great horror movie.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the whole thing I was thinking of is, God help me. See?
This is, I would say, the biggest attempt at funny. Everything else is so witty, but this is like, okay.
I literally blew myself up, so we're going to try it again wearing a tarp.
And a helmet.
Yes.
But it's like...
And it's not even a tarp, it's an emergency blanket.
That's
just
what I was
gold.
going to say. It looks like a gold or copper emergency blanket.
Yes.
How much do you get to sleep? When you get... We're talking... If we jump back into like the pioneer days with no TV or radio, no entertainment, you had to work, 14 hours a day, because that's how you had to live.
And then you take into calculations, eating, washroom, hygiene. You're probably only sleeping about 4 hours.
Yeah, what's his requirement? Yeah.
See, but even here, he's become engineer. He's become...
Well, he's a botanist. So we'll point out that he's the ship botanist.
Which is why he knows make
Which
potatoes with shit.
Great for the potatoes.
Right? But now he's an engineer.
Yes, he's got to figure... Well, he's a surgeon before, now he's an engineer. He's got to figure out all the solar panel stuff. And it comes in much better to play later on his trip. But
I have to point out, especially for somebody who helps kids learn, how vapor works.
Yeah.
That cutout peephole.
Yeah.
Screwed up everything.
That would have been enough to counteract
the
it?
moisture's coming out that way.
Okay.
Because now it's got an escape.
I would have thought that it certainly would have had an effect, but at what point?
It's not a huge effect, but anything over in that area, there's no moisture there anymore.
Yeah.
And now I've never been to a state funeral, but for some reason I don't see them setting up quite like that in the middle of it.
Yeah, I don't either, and I don't know. It is so difficult to look at Jeff Daniels and actually see Dumb and Dumber. He is so transcended that character.
Yeah, and all, whenever anybody says his name, is all I can think of is the most annoying sound on planet Earth.
I can only do it so long.
Right, that's because it's the most annoying sound on Earth.
Yeah.
But after Dumb and Dumber, he did a lot of movies, but he's another one who's stereotyped because of that movie.
Oh yeah.
But
lately, Jeff Daniels, you get on TikTok and all these other... He does that... there's the speech he did for a TV show. Oddly enough, that was his audition piece.
Yes.
I thought that was fascinating. He learned that... why the fuck do you think America is the number one? We're only number one in, incarcerated in death, guns, and it was so beautifully done, and it makes complete sense that he can pull this stuff off.
Now it does.
Have you ever heard him sing?
Apparently he's really good.
Holy motherfucker.
Is he good?
So, pardon my Spanish. I've seen him on, who's the...
Spanish.
She was the American Idol winner... Kelly Clarkson.
I was going to say which one.
Yeah, Kelly Clarkson. He was on there the other day, and he sang a song about talking to his guitar, and it was absolutely so good. It's like he's a country singer. He's born country. Yeah.
And just like that, I'll never listen to him.
No, not a country.
No, see, I'm going and doing the concerts like Big Valley and Craven and all that. I'm going to Craven for one band and one band only.
Oh, which one's that?
Nickelback. It's got nothing to do with country. And Big Valley, I'll be the one walking around doing the volunteer shift with the earbuds in and music cranked.
Oh, so you are doing Big Valley too?
I am doing Big Valley too. Just I am not listening to anything. And as soon as my shift is done, I'm going home.
It bugged me. This character here, was it Cindy? I can't remember her.
I can't remember, but she's the only one in the room.
I recognize her.
Mindy.
Mindy Park. I couldn't fathom. She was bugging me. I know this person. Do you know what she's done? Her probably the most famous thing Terminator Dark. The last Terminator. She was the.
See, and I never watched the very last one, so that's why.
I did. I didn't think it was bad as people made it out to be, but it wasn't as good as T2 either.
Right, but no, the very, very last one that they did, because I'm so tired of them changing everything, I was just like, yeah, I'm done.
They actually tied things up relatively tolerable. Right. That's the best way I can put it. I had fun during it and whatever. So, but yeah, she was the. Sam Worthington played the one in was it Genesis? The one where Christian Bale was. Oh,
yeah, that was.
He
Genesis.
was in that one.
Yeah.
She played his reinvented version of that.
That makes sense. Yeah. And all because she noticed that the rover moved.
I love this. Like, oh my god, the wheels turning. They're all so good, and we're all sitting there, and they're all fucking. The panic is coming. The oh my god.
So, I actually have and it's a valid question at this point. So she calls and goes, it's an emergency.
Yeah.
Now, I can see the director of Mars missions being there. I can see the director of NASA being there. Why is the director of media relations in the room helping them solve this problem?
Oh, what's her name?
Yeah.
Good question. That is a good question. Is that her title?
She is the director of media relations.
I suppose it would not be completely illogical to keep her on, or do you feed your media relations only what you want them to?
You would tell your media relations what's going on, and they would come up with a plan. She's actively sitting there trying to help them solve the problem.
Yes, I'd agree. But speaking of a media relations person, can you think of any other character in TV or cinema history that's a media relations for any kind of a government or whatever? I can think of one and it's screaming in my head. Did you ever watch Spin City?
Oh God!
Yes, he was like the media guy. They got to the point where they only fed him what he needed to know because he would talk too much.
And that's why. But yeah, like that was the one only. That is the only thing in this whole thing that actually disturbed me, though. Was the fact that she's there and her nose is and everything.
I didn't notice that. Yeah. I did not notice that. So, I mean, it is an odd thing. Yeah.
And here he is dissing disco.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with him. See, so it's country with you? It's disco with me?
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. Disco for me... So I was growing up, my little growing up years. When I say growing up, I'm talking the 80s, but that's my teens. But I grew up through the 70s, and my sister was big time disco, shake your booty, and all that crazy. My oldest brother, he was Kiss and Sabbath and everything else, and my dad was Hank Snow and Colorado Kool-Aid.
See, and I was born in the 80s. I'll admit it. I'm a millennial. God help me. I'm more Gen X.
Yeah.
But I was born in 85, so I'm peak millennial.
Yeah.
And I grew up with Kiss, AC/DC, Megadeth, Metallica. That is what I listened to. I do not.
Well, the 80s Kiss was not ideal.
No, I'm talking original Kiss. Like, but
They
you know,
had some disco funk.
oh, they
going
did.
on.
But you know, like I'd go over to visit my grandparents and everything, and you get Shania Twain, freaking Garth Brooks. And it's just like
Garth Brooks fan. I love Garth Brooks.
only song I know about him is like Ring of Fire. Or no, wait, that's Johnny Cash. Hang on, but you know, so like there's a couple. There are a couple that I know.
Yeah.
But
Oh, so you ever care for what was it? Gaines.
no,
Chris Gaines.
no,
You know who that is?
no.
Garth Brooks wanted to break his trend, so he took an alter ego
Oh,
called Chris Gaines.
So it's like-
completely non-country, but it was still kind of country.
if it even has a country twang to it, no.
No, he
No.
didn't. He tried to send down this poppy sound.
Oh,
to-
but it's in his voice.
yeah. Well, he did alter his voice a little bit, like
Yeah,
he
it's still-
changed, but
It's
it
still
wasn't.
there. The only country that I actually like, there's two. Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Oh yeah.
I love me some Devil Went Down to Georgia and Nitty Gritty Dirt
I
Band.
got to see them live in Red Deer.
Did you?
That was cool. Yeah.
I mean, if they were playing, I'd listen, but they're not. So
Yeah. No, Nitty Gritty. They were starting to age back then.
they were. So, but you know, that's about where I would listen. Beyond that, no, I cannot give two shits. I mean,
Yeah. So yeah, there's interesting things about country music, but that's they'll be getting too deep into that tangent.
right?
But,
See,
but,
the biggest thing with this one, I mean, because we're still going to be on the music topic here,
yeah.
is, okay, right now he's digging up basically a reactor,
Yes.
and it's the song that he plays,
Oh, he starts actually getting into this one a little bit.
right?
Yeah.
But it's the I Will Survive.
It's interesting why he's doing this.
But right now I got bigger problems on my hands. I have scoured every single data file on Commander Lewis's personal drive. This is officially the least disco song she owns.
I could not be stuck with disco for that long of a time.
Well, and he considers this the least disco, and then he goes into listening to ABBA.
Yeah.
How does that even work?
Well,
But, and now he's actually, and he's got the right freaking shoulder twist and everything. Like,
oh, Matt Damon, he's the sexy one.
Oh,
I'll give him that.
even
But I'm gonna say that we're gonna take a little break here because he just figured out he needed the nuclear whatever.
he needs the nuclear reactor core.
so he can heat the cab of his thing because he still has to stop every 12 hours to re-satellite up, power up his batteries.
So, while we take our break, I'm going to leave them with this. How isn't he orange by the end of this?
That's a good question. Orange? Not orange. We'll never know.
He's
Reality?
kind of orangish.
Is that what radioactivity does? Turn you orange?
Well, it can do a lot of stuff.
It could turn you into Spider-Man, or it could turn you into, depending on the comic book,
It can make you bald.
toxic radioactivity is the key method to becoming a superhero.
Or it just makes you bald.
Yeah. So I love the communication. So you can't communicate between Mars and Earth without some sort of a delay or something like that.
Yes.
And the antenna was severed into his gullet in the beginning.
Still think if he left it there, he would have been able to communicate with them.
Mental telepathy. But now that he finds an old one from a previous site,
Yes.
and so now we get to do. I love that. It's so basic and it's so cool. He can communicate through.
And the director of the Mars missions figures out where he's going and then flies to Florida or wherever this other place is
Yeah.
to access the machine.
So they've got the exact replica, so they can map out the system that they're going to go.
Yep.
And this is so cool. So now he's got...
And now it's follow the camera. Except for, I'm pretty sure the camera pointed to no, not yes.
Oh, we'll find out. But the fact that they now actually have official communication, it's just the amazement of how they have you believe this.
And see, duct tape works on Mars.
It does. Are you receiving me? I don't know. It's...
And look, they get to play puzzle with Polaroids. Because, what did he say, 32 minutes?
Delay? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I thought it was more than that. I thought it would be like a...
Well, 32-minute delayed image time.
Okay, yeah.
See,
right.
the camera points at no. Oh no, he's looking at the arm on it.
Yeah, yeah. So now they know. Now they know. This is the entering the big question now. They know he's alive. They know he's surviving.
Yeah.
But they don't tell the crew.
Right? Because
Have
why?
they addressed that?
Not yet. They're about to.
The logic is sound. In the sense that they want them. This is the logistics guy.
They want to
I want you to be
continue with the
focused.
mission.
Going through the mission, I'm sure the math and the tension of flying 10 months through space, you're off a quarter of a degree and you're ended up somewhere you shouldn't be.
Right, but at this point, they're what? A month away?
Is that how close they are?
I think at this point, they're just a month away.
From home.
No, from him.
Oh, from him. Yeah. But the question, it all relies on later. Like, could they have gotten back down there? Did they have their return ship? I don't know how it works.
I don't know, but I think they could have. What gets me, he's opening up all these boxes. Johansson's box.
Yeah.
She's got a loofah.
A loofah?
She's got a loofah.
A loofah. That's a sponge.
Yes.
Okay.
What the hell does she need a loofah for?
I don't know. What's with that? Oh my god, the highs and lows you must go through when you're going through this. Just like the lows are the low and the highest. How do you not go insane?
Right, and he's coming up with his own...
Well, the whole system, yeah.
Yeah, but he's actually coming up with an alphabet right now.
Yeah, because he's only got, 13 degrees or every 13 degrees or something like that?
Yeah.
So he doesn't have enough for a full alphabet?
But the fact that they actually figure it out. And at this point, they're getting to the point when he asks about the crew and everything. And, well, first they tell him how to hack the rover so that they can communicate that way.
Oh, yeah. Then it's actually keyboard typing.
Yes.
And that there. And still, here we go. Oh, 4. That's the number. Okay. Slow.
Yeah, because, 4-8.
Yes. I just can't comprehend how smart you have to be to be these people. I mean, yeah, no, it's just absolutely mind-blowing. I used to think that these people aren't real, but I've come to learn over the years that they have to be. These are real people.
They're out there.
They have these... I mean, it's like, if we compare it to intelligence, like in here, it's very real. It's like, people work so hard. We go into other, who's the smartest person on the planet now? Are we going to talk Elon Musk or something like that? And he's, but, I mean, is he smart? I mean, he didn't invent all the shit he runs.
I think he's just rich.
Well, that's what I think, too. Like, he's got to be smart because he has no social skills. So he has to be smart.
But he's got kids. And his kids have weird-ass names.
Oh, I know. I think one of them is all numbers.
Something like that, but it actually turns out to, like, an actual name. But it's like, how the fuck do you even say those names?
Yeah, no, that's weird. Somebody like him and what's his name, Gates.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're mega rich people. Bezos.
But you know, at least Gates started off in his garage.
Well, yeah, like Gates is actually sociable, and he's actually making, like him or not, very social motions towards progression. Where I don't know about Elon, he wants to implant things into our brain and move to Mars.
Yeah, but you know what? He's also had enough plastic surgery that I'm pretty sure he is an alien.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, so I mean, we look at. I always felt like you look at Steve Jobs. He's a marketer.
That's who I was thinking of. Steve Jobs is the one that started off in his garage.
Yeah. Well, Gates and him were buddies, were they not?
And I think so.
Well, they were all interconnected for a while.
Yes.
Yes. Steve Jobs owned Pixar, or was the CEO of Pixar for a period.
Yep.
I didn't know that. I just found that out.
Because it was his technology that they were using to do the...
Was it his technology, or was it he just found the people to make the technology?
No,
He actually invented that?
Well, not fully by himself, but Steve Jobs was always very hands-on with all of it.
Because I've never seen him as an inventor. He's always like a master marketer.
Oh, he's always great at marketing.
That's where his real brilliance was.
Very good. Always very good at marketing.
I'm going to say something, and someone's going to get upset at this. Okay. I don't think you will.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Stan Lee, the Stan Lee that we all know from Marvel, was nothing more than a brilliant marketer. Most of his creations, inventions, and ideas were far, far more elevated by other people. So I think people tend to put the stigmatism onto, with a little bit of ignorance, onto these people that puts them on a pedestal that's not necessarily deserving.
Right. I get that. See, this part here is probably the most realistic. They finally told him that they haven't told the crew yet.
Yeah, that's a tough question.
He comes out with what do you mean they...
So, on that note, why are they globally broadcasting him?
Because they want the world to know that they screwed up and that he is actually alive. But they haven't told the crew yet.
Yeah.
So they tell him, be nice, we're broadcasting this, so he really lets loose.
So this is crazy. This is so emotional. I mean, what's going through his head is just like, we didn't tell them why, because they need to get back, because when you're part of a team, I was really thinking about this the other day. Anybody on Facebook probably might have noticed my post. When you're in such a sync with a team, there's no greater feeling than when you have a team working together, compromising, building on the same plane, and then there's no bosses and leaders make you feel more valuable. And that's what these group of people were. I mean, yes, she was in charge, right, but there's this connection everybody has that I don't value any less than me. You're a part of what makes us work. That's what I loved about this too.
I mean, like this point here, you can tell she's upset by her decision, and it's been 4 months since they left him.
It's gonna kill her. I mean, and it has to. And I think she shows it really well when the time comes.
When they finally tell them,
she finds out, and it's like, it's one thing to leave behind what you think is a body. Yeah, it's another to find out you left behind a live soul.
See, and so this part was hard, but I think one of the parts that was even harder though was finding out that there's a potential of him running out of supplies.
Yeah.
And that how many miles away there's that is hard.
It absolutely is. I love very interesting things. We're looking at their artificial gravity. Kind of makes sense, centrifugal, whatever. I don't know if it really works like that. But when they're getting to these they're not actually floating, so they're acting through these rigging systems. I believe it's a wire method.
Yes.
I know occasionally for short scenes they'll get a plane up there for small enclosures, but this one's all wire. They're hanging and they're gotta act like you're floating.
And that's how most of them are. So there's a lot of training into actually getting you to act that way.
It's a killer. It's really good. It's tough.
I mean,
guess what? Michael Biehn is the hero.
Right?
Has he ever been a hero before? I mean, he usually dies before he gets to be heroic.
Dickhead, dead. Dickhead. Nope. No.
It's got to be huge for him.
And like at this point too, like I don't even know if he's actually the hero or if he's just like, I want to be the one to break the bad news to them.
Well, I mean, I think there's real compassion in him. I feel like he might have been. Well, he's definitely.
So, and the other question on that one too, like for this part here, knowing that they can communicate with their families while they're up there, is that what forced their hand in actually having to tell them?
Good question. Yeah. I mean, and we know that that Biehn, what's his name?
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean. I want to call him Michael Biehn.
No, Sean Bean.
Because I know. But he actually breaks the rules. He lets them know. He's the catalyst to allow them to make their own choice.
Yes.
Which is huge. And then
my other thing with those potato plants, I'm back on the damn potatoes. I grow potatoes.
So what's your favorite form of potato? Like fries, mashed?
Potatoes.
You just like potatoes?
And just give me a potato.
I make some really good whipped potatoes.
Oh, see, I have Mark do that.
So maybe
they're
it's
good.
a hand thing.
Maybe. But, we grow potatoes every year.
Yeah?
I've never seen them look like a tree.
No, I've never seen them. I remember as a little kid digging up potatoes at Grandpa's farm.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And they never look barky. Never.
No.
I've never seen a barky potato plant.
Well, I mean, there's lots of different potatoes too, right?
Not a yellow one. A yellow potato is not barky.
I know. Yeah, because like I was down east, we never had the red potatoes from PEI because we were New Brunswick. So.
Yeah. No, we generally.
But, not say we couldn't have. I'm sure they could have.
I mean, and like at home, like we'll grow yellow, red. I've done like your normal russets.
Yeah.
I've never seen a tree.
Are nugget potatoes just baby potatoes, and we're eating like veal of potatoes?
Yes.
Oh, we're killing baby potatoes.
We're killing baby potatoes
before they mature.
Which, ironically, are the best ones if you end up with baby potatoes. Just let them go to seed.
Oh yeah, no, we love baby potatoes. The bones are easier to chew.
Right? They're not as crunchy.
I got some terrible good images back home. Like I'm from New Brunswick, so I haven't been back in New Brunswick since 86-ish.
Wow.
Wow. 86, 80. I know. I feel bad, but I know Grammy and Grampy. We used to. It would be in my mind at that age it was an 18-hour drive from St. Margaret's to Sackville. And we'd go out there and we'd get shit for eating all the peas. We had off the vine.
Vine peas are the best.
Yes, and we hated digging the potatoes because it was actual work. And he had 11 acres of basically nothing but blueberries.
Oh.
And it's just like, my dad would be out there picking one blueberry at a time. And he would be there all day. We had these baskets, these scoops, and it had these fingers, these tiny fingers. And he'd get and we'd come back with a 5-gallon pail in minutes, and Dad would be out there all day. And then we'd say, "Whoa, look what we did, Dad. Okay, now dig the leaves out."
Oh man!
Exactly. Dad's was already pristine, but it was a small bucket.
But he's going like
this. It was
this.
ready for the cream and sugar.
Like he's going like this.
Yeah.
No wonder. I mean, I don't
My
know.
dad had patience I could not imagine.
I got to the point I could actually get those blueberries off doing a full scoop without getting the leaves. You just got to know how to do it.
So here it is, the miracle of duct tape. Hoo-yah!
Red Green would be so proud.
What's that?
Red Green
yes,
would
absolutely.
be so proud. Like,
oh yeah, it was like he's not only handsome, he's also handy.
Right? But the question is how the hell does he see after this?
Well, that would drive me nuts. I've got a little bit of an OCD thing. It's just like you gotta walk around like this with your head tilted to the left.
Oh yes, and double layer duct tape works better.
Just don't panic. Stay calm. Solve the problem. Then move to the next.
Right?
Simple as that.
And this is where he'll find out that all of his hard work was for nothing. Because when that one compartment went...
Took everything out, and it's just like the heartbreak.
Well, and all that hydrogen rushing in, it just froze everything.
Yeah.
And yet, they have a flashlight.
It almost breaks my heart. Like, just the emotional tension of this scene in itself. It's like, oh my God.
And so the thing is, this could be classified as, I guess, when you think about it, as like first frost.
Yeah.
So, if he were to work through the night and actually dig all those up,
should they not be thawed and saved?
How many of those potatoes were actually still good?
Yeah. I mean, I don't... Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of frost on the ground, but...
I would guess he's lost his whole crop in general, but I'm sure they're not going to show him picking around looking for the tiny little... No. But I'm sure he did.
Right, well, and he tells you, too, he saved what he could.
Yeah.
But, if it was me, I'd be checking exactly at that point to see how many were actually viable.
Yeah. Well, I think he's getting a new helmet first, which is fine too. I'll justify that.
No, I would have left the damn helmet on and just gone to work. Because he also grabs a new suit, and his suit was fine.
Yeah, I don't know how they make oxygen. I know there's a process, an oxygenator there. They take it out of the air. I don't know whether the suit does that, or whether it's the suit. There's no tank on the suit, so I assume that the oxygenator is the science version of it draws the oxygen out of the atmosphere and filters it, makes it viable. So.
Right, but like the suits that he's wearing in this are based off of any of the suits that we've seen on TV, and we are in 2024. There's still those big bulky white things with the big ass Ghostbuster pack on it,
which he does switch to when he has to make the final flight.
Yes.
So.
God had nothing to do with it, just so you know.
That's right.
Maybe this was his penance for scraping up the cross.
I don't know. I just... emotional breakdown. Regroup.
There is also the fact that they're on a planet that is extremely unstable.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the other thing, too. Like, these storms, that one eye is a storm that's... How many years old? Hundreds of years old?
They called it, I think they called it the 100-year storm or something like that. So it's like always going.
I think your phone's broke. It says 1-0 Oilers.
What, did they take all their points away? No, it's 1-2.
Okay. Woo!
It was updating down here, just not up there.
Yeah. Okay. No, I feel bad in the hockey world because I don't care, but I just don't want to have to listen to everybody for the next 6 months. Which we're gonna have to listen to anyway.
We're gonna have to listen to anyway. But the thing with it is my house, we are not sports fans. We are not sports fans at all. The only reason that we're actually following this, and we all agreed on it, Mark and I were the same, both of us the same thing. Somebody starts talking hockey and it's like, yeah, fuck, whatever.
You gotta blend in somehow.
You gotta blend in somehow though, right?
Yeah.
But we actually ended up following this one, and not because they came back from that 3-game lead.
Yeah.
It's because this is the first time since '97 that there's even a slight chance of a Canadian team bringing home the cup.
No, 05 and 06.
I don't count those ones.
Both came back-to-back years. Or maybe it was a year separation. Flames actually should have won it, but they discounted the one goal that went through the net.
Yeah. The refs on that one were making some real bad calls.
That should have been. The Oilers, I don't know much about that. I'm sure they'll complain about the refing of that one.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, that one, though, I can honestly say I did catch a couple snippets on that game. My brother-in-law was watching it. And even that damn ref made some bad calls.
I'm more like Kathy and I. We don't do a lot of sports either, but the Olympics. We're patriots in that sense. Well, we'll watch Canada play hockey in the Olympics because we can cheer for
so even the Olympics. I'll check in at the end of the day to see how many medals have come home.
We will do that too. Oh, we got another gold and 2 silver.
Right.
Sweet.
But beyond that, I don't watch any of it. My mother-in-law watches it all.
Kathy likes, I think she watches some figure skating and this and that. I like the odd ones they rarely air. Like, I would watch the martial arts.
Yeah.
The judo and the karate and stuff, but they never air those.
No.
Oh, fun fact on Olympics. I rose the flag on the very first short track speed skating as a demonstration sport as a sea cadet.
Nice.
Yes, I got to wear a Olympic parka. And I had to give it back.
Oh, well, that's not fair. See,
And
I remember the downhill skiing ramps in Calgary.
Oh, ski jumps, yeah.
Yeah. So I obviously don't remember the year they went up because it was.
It would have been 86 was or 88 was the Winter Olympics in Calgary.
Yes, so they
would
started.
have gone up a year or so before that.
Yeah, so I was 2.
Okay.
So like I said, I don't remember when they went up. I don't remember any of that, but they've always been a staple because you know Calgarian.
That's what you see.
I remember the year that a bunch of kids decided that they were going to screw around and go down them, and the one kid broke his neck. I remember that year, and then all of a sudden nobody was allowed near him. It doesn't stop anybody.
Did he go down it on what, skis or?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
He was going
without
down
supervision. Just wow.
Yeah,
okay.
and ended up breaking his neck.
Did he recover?
No.
Okay.
No, because he went off the big one.
Okay. I had a friend of mine that broke his. Well, I shouldn't say friend. I think he's a friend. Anyway, he broke his neck when we were in our early 20s in a rig, not a rig, but a pipeline or whatever. And as far as I can tell, he fully recovered. But he had to wear the halo thing for 6 months or whatever.
Yeah. No, even us, like my uncle, same thing. He had
Look, the scene from Star Wars.
Oh, they're sending us more gifts.
More gifts. What are you getting gifts for? Oh, gifs.
GIF
You mean
or GIF. GIF, whatever. Except for they're not loading on my phone properly.
Oh no. Well, I'll check and see what they're sending. Oh. Look at that, everybody!
Oh
That's
no!
So yeah, it's
oh, now it loads in.
Oh,
that is
Betty?
No,
not Betty. Lucy.
Lucy. Yeah.
Lucy. No. Does that mean the game is over?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Just.
What is? It is over.
It can't.
Well, that's what the phone is saying. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are sad or happy to tell you
they're not going into a third period?
That Predators have defeated the Oilers. Those who are Oilers fans, I'm sorry. Those who are Predators fans, I don't know you exist. You live in a Florida state, so.
Well.
Panthers, not Predators.
Panthers. Well, there you go, folks. I was corrected by my wife, which I must say doesn't happen often, but often enough.
I mean, it sucks. They so could have had it this time. Anyway,
they beat them. That's over with.
They beat him by 1 point, but now we're at like one of my favorite characters in the movie.
1 point per $1 million. So, just before we carry on back to the movie, Still stands. The Leafs are still the only team ever to come back and win the Stanley Cup from a 3-0 deficit.
And that was 1978.
No, it was 42.
Was it 42?
42. Because the Leafs last won the Cup in 67. They came back in the finals to win the Stanley Cup from a 3-0 deficit.
That's a long damn time.
It is. Now,
back to my favorite character.
Donald Glover. I always think he should be related to Danny Glover.
But he's not.
No relation whatsoever.
Right? But, he is the most awkward character in the whole movie.
I fucking hate him because he's good at everything. I'm talking Danny Glover.
Right?
Yeah.
But, but his character in this one, he's so awkward. He won't tell anybody what he's thinking, what he's coming up with, what he's doing. And yet, he's the only one that comes up with a viable solution for how to save them.
Oh, yeah. No, it's just like... okay. Sorry. My computer was doing something weird. But we're good, I think. Yeah, no, he's a great character. I mean, again, I think if we look at these great movies that we can pick apart the sciencey stuff or we can pick apart this and that, it's the characters.
Yes.
They are just so dynamically different, compassionate, energetic, wrong, right. You pick that value, and Donald
Glover.
Donald Glover, the childish Gambino.
Yeah.
What's it? Community? I don't know what it was. He was on one of those Parks and Rec.
Probably Parks and Rec.
Yeah. He's so good at what this is, and he stumbles and he falls and he's brilliant. That's when you talk about smartest person in the world, somebody like that. It's not Batman or Iron Man.
No.
That's what the smartest person in the world is like.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, this point here where they're telling him that it's going to take so long to get, more resources and you have to ration even more than you're already rationing. I'd start dipping my stuff in Vicodin too.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yes. What does Vicodin do to you? Is that a painkiller?
Yes.
A mind numb?
It kind of a little bit of it. He's going to be stoned. And considering he's now gotten rid of that capsule,
yes,
it's going to work faster.
Yeah, it's so. Oh man, the hurdles. I want to say I keep calling him Wong, but that's not his name in the movie because he's Wong in Marvel.
Yes,
Yeah.
But even here, they're loading all the resources and everything for him, and
they're doing it all without safety checks,
right?
Because time is so critical. They're breaking rules.
They are breaking rules, but it's also doing it too, where it's not next day. This is actually 4 weeks later, after all this has happened, and they've told them to ration.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just that we think, this they've set us up. This is going to be the nice delay. We're going to save him. We're going to get some more fun character development.
Boom.
Boom. It's like 1982 all over again.
Right. See, and that should have given it away. They're watching the camera and a thing flies in the corner.
Yeah.
It's all the damn bird's fault. Which inadvertently takes us back to the crow.
The crow.
Right.
We should be doing the crow.
We should be. What did he do to that ball dog?
He just knocked the head, I think. I think it's that calming sensation.
Yeah, but it's not the same head that actually belonged on that one.
I see what you're saying. Probably related. Yeah! We've saved him! The world is now fantastic! Woohoo! Oh, this is the guy. Yeah. He's the asshole that ruins it all.
Always the asshole.
Yep.
Always one.
There's something not right with this number. No, we're good. Fuck you. Fuck me. Fuck us all.
I didn't ask you a question. But yeah, it's like.
And there it goes.
And right after this is when you find out that prior to anybody going out, they send resources ahead of them. And at Ares 4.
Oh, yeah. There's 4.
There is resources already.
Yeah. But Ares 4 is, what did he say, 3,700 kilometers away?
Yes.
So
It would take him something like
42 days or something.
42 sols or something.
Because he's got to drive. They remember he drives.
He can drive for 4 and then he has to stop for 12.
Yes, and let them recharge, and then he drives for 4
Yeah.
in the morning.
Yes.
So yeah, because there's no point in driving and then running out of power at night because you got no solar to recharge them.
Yes.
So, but it's just like, yeah, you're trapped in that with the big pimple on top, whatever.
Right? But, even this, like, even at this point, the base is way over there and he's over there sitting on rocks.
Yeah.
So.
We think about it too. I mean, we think about what we've had to persevere to overcome in our lives. Like, it's unfathomably different than this.
He's also tied to the rock. Sorry, I had to point that out.
Oh, okay.
Why is he tied to the rock? Well, he's sitting on the rock.
I don't know. But this is like... Oh, so have you ever had what you felt like, regardless of whether it was a near-death experience, where for a brief millisecond or a second you thought, yep, this is it, I'm done?
Yep.
And I've had a few of those, and I find as I get older, the impact is less. When we're younger, we have so much more life behind us, and it's just like, fuck me, and you panic. And the last couple of years, I noticed I was driving up for rehearsal into the Duke, and icy shit. I probably shouldn't have gone, but there's a moose come ropping up in my car. So all of a sudden, I hit the brakes, the car starts going, and the moose is going tick, 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 skipping its feet all over. And as I skate by, it's just like I could look at this moose in its eye. It's like, hey. And it was just like I never lost control in my head. I was just like, okay, I'm just doing, hey, hi.
Right? How you doing? Yeah.
But this is a whole new thing. Yeah.
This is a whole new thing. Like, it's driving. I've had a few of them. I mean, I've had a couple surgeries where it's like I'm not coming out of this.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Both of them are having my kids, but it's like I'm not coming out of this. And the one I honestly should be dead, but I'm too stubborn.
That's good.
It runs in my family. I'm just too damn stubborn.
Yes. So this is Japan, right?
This is in Japan, and see, your subtitles aren't going, but she's actually saying, we don't have to help them, and nobody won't be the wiser because we didn't see it. We didn't reach out for help.
They have full plausible deniability.
Yeah. And he's saying that wouldn't be right because Wong, who we know as Wong.
We didn't use the term Wong.
It's Wong.
Wong is white.
Right? But that's his cousin or his uncle.
Yeah.
And not only is it that he feels that it's wrong not to help because it would be a loss of life and it would set them further ahead in exploration.
Yeah.
But that's family.
Yeah.
So.
It would separate international ties too.
Yes.
You don't really, as much as we dislike the American attitude, you don't want to be plotting against them either.
No.
Yeah.
And look at Pearl Harbor.
Yeah. So I think I have to take a break here.
Okay.
So we'll be back after these messages. We'll be right. I can't find my cursor. Back. And we're back. Caffeinated and nicotine doll up. Isn't that right?
Jabba.
So when we broke, during the break, they were just. The team was given the pilots were given the option to whether they wanted to turn back. So now we knew we had 2 military people and the rest were civilian scientists.
Yes.
And it was just that was the thing. Probably, that inspired me the most is the fact working together and making choices together and, we all want to say anything's can be accomplished if you pull together. No one knows it all.
Right, because that was the one point that was different from even Armageddon.
Yeah.
Armageddon, it was like, I'm military, I'm in charge, we're doing it this way. Now, okay, it was end of the world, but still, we're doing it this way.
Yeah.
This is a case of, let's try.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
Such the somber personalities of all these astronauts.
Yes.
And it's you have to be focused. You have to be controlled. Oh, I forgot his helmet. Sorry. Come back to that. I love that. 461 souls.
Yes. And he forgets his helmet.
Yes. So that's over almost a year and a half.
Yep. And so, see, he's forgetting his helmet because he's climatized. He can breathe Mars air now. No, he can't.
No, we've now... But that was, that emotional moment when your family, your team, that moment the needs of the few outweigh the needs of the many.
Yes. Well, and like they say, because it's getting to the point where they're going to have the interviews with the families and everything. And the one wife goes, you've been up there for how long and you decided to go back? Well, he would have done it for me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I love the camaraderie. That idea that when you're with these people, could you imagine that dickhead, that toxic asshole that gets... They've got to be weeded out. They could not allow that person in.
Well, and that's why they do all the testing and everything. But a lot of it is... Now, I don't know which one's 100% true based on how they do it. Is it, we're very military style, or this is your chain of command, or is it, we're up here for so long, we need to be friends?
Well, yeah.
Or does it grow into that?
Well, how much is the training for this, right? Like, how long do you train?
Years.
2 or 3 years at least. And NASA is civilian, but it's government funded.
Yes. And military. Military funding is in there as well.
Yeah. So just amazing. And the acting, like I say, they're all nuanced. But that's the thing about film. You get the camera right up there. You can have these micro expressions and that sort of thing. And just the concern. I'm amazed that a movie actor can movie actor. TV, I guess they do it in front of a studio, so the cameras are a little further back.
Yes.
But with a movie, you got that camera that's like a foot and a half in front of your face.
Right there, and the mic is right.
Yeah, and you gotta imagine whatever emotional moment that's drawing you, a lover, a monster,
Right.
And then you got this big glass right there.
See,
it's a craft.
And I want to point this out too, like with Mars, because they're showing you the zoomed in. They're obviously pictures.
Yeah.
But they're showing you the zoomed in on them and everything, and you see the craters. You see the crater marks. The one thing they never addressed in the year and a bit that he's been here is how many meteors or asteroids or anything have actually hit Mars in that time.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that a big thing for Mars to be pummeled?
If you look at the way the craters are,
like
they've got there's crater. And then here, okay, I would not be driving there at all. Those are tornadoes.
Well, yeah, the little dust devil or whatever, but I assume it's colder and fucked. I'm guessing.
In the sun, probably not.
Is it that much of a difference? Because I know earlier in the movie he was breathing the...
That was at night.
Was it at night? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just that extreme temperature difference.
Yeah.
So, as we've talked, we fast forward and we got the anorexic butt shot. So all you ladies out there...
Matt Damon's not so hot right now.
What's that?
Matt Damon's not so hot right now.
Yeah, he's a little nourished. You can see his pelvic structure.
Yep. See, and like they say that he's not supposed to drive at night, but he's driving at night.
Well, I guess he can drive at night, but how many hours does he have for driving? Just 4 hours?
He would only have 4 hours.
So he drives for 4 hours,
Yep.
and then he has to park it. So there's no. He probably starts later at night.
Yeah,
Just so that by the time the sun's back up, he's starting to run low.
Yeah, because it shows him actually setting his watch.
Yeah. I love this.
So you want to launch him into space with a tarp?
Well, we got to decrease the weight of this. I'm not sure why. This was designed to launch people out, but is it missing something?
It doesn't have enough fuel or something like
Oh,
that.
okay. So they're trying to compensate with fuel or thruster lack of.
Yes.
So they got to decrease 1,000 kilograms, which is a ton.
Yep.
And basically, it boils down to the nose cone itself was 500 kilograms.
Yes. Yeah, because they're talking here, oh, just get rid of the chairs, get rid of this, get rid of that. Well, that's not enough. We'll get rid of the nose. And how are we launching him with no ship?
They make it. They make the logic by saying that the atmosphere is so thin by the time he gets up there that the heat, the pressure is not enough to affect him. So whereas like in the Earth, you know, obviously
burn
we
up.
need those ceramic tiles on our spaceships in order to break. Yeah, the gravity.
Oh, yes, but take out the windows, too.
Yeah.
400 kilograms.
Okay. Well,
Right?
yeah, it's still 850 pounds or whatever.
Right?
You know. So
But then, yeah, we're going to just cover him with
Yes.
a tarp.
we'll put a tent over it. And it, yeah.
Like, they're talking about doing this. Now, they also just talked about punching the holes into the top of the rover with rocks. So, to attach the solar
Right.
panels, so, you know, yeah.
Yeah. And yet, the movie pulls this off with such legitimacy. You don't, the first time you watch this, you don't even question it. You know? And it's just like...
It's when you watch it again, that's when you start
Yeah.
questioning. I mean, even this part here, the first time I watched it, really I missed it. Because they're trying to deduce how he means. Are you fucking kidding me? It's like, are
Actually,
you kidding
this was
me?
another...
Or, are you kidding me? Like,
This was actually a fun scene too. It was like, you know, so how does you think of me? And it's like, are you kidding me? Or it's like, are you kidding me?
Right.
Are you kidding me?
see, crater.
Yeah.
Besides the point, but you know, honestly, if it was me and you see that, because he's actually taking out the rest of it now, and he got the dashes in there, I would be perceiving it as are you fucking kidding me? Like,
Yeah, it was. Hopefully, he'd be just noshing down on everything he wants now at this point.
so
I mean, depending on how many days. This is.
I have to say, with the amount of potatoes that he ate, as much as I like potatoes, by the time I got back to Earth, I would not want to see another potato.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I don't think I would either.
Like, and he also ran out of ketchup, which is why the Vicodin. But I don't see, and you know, they want to go crazy fast because that works with space travel.
Yeah. I do love the the jovial nature as this we're into the final act of this. It is. I think we still got 40 minutes or 30 minutes left or something like that.
Something like that.
30 minutes, 34 minutes left. But I mean, it gets so playful within the realm of the tense nature. The stakes are real. We feel the stakes.
Right?
But they put in this, you know, I'm dead anyway. Might as well Iron Man it or
Right.
whatever it is.
And
you
he
know?
keeps his humor. What gets me, though, is because we got out of the disco songs for a little while there.
Yeah.
And now we're listening to Waterloo.
Waterloo? Is that ABBA?
This is ABBA, yep.
Yeah.
But Waterloo? Like, and all because it wouldn't work.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
look, the battery's dead.
Nope, it's not dead. It's just he has to hit the green on button.
Uh-huh.
There we go.
that it's so dirty.
Yeah.
So, okay, he's climbing up into a rocket, which he has to cover with a tarp. Did none of anything in it work?
Well, everything seems to be working. You know, he's just going to eject the windows, I
But
guess.
why not launch the rocket up?
What do you mean?
He's in a spacecraft with the engines and everything.
Yeah.
Why not just launch it up when they get there? Instead of, launch the whole thing instead of ejecting the top part.
Well, I thought it was because we didn't have enough fuel.
Oh, maybe that is.
Yes. Yeah, I think it was you that mentioned that.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Yes.
But,
That is a reasonably 800-pound looking thing. Like, everything you've got, just slide it. But I'd be so worried it would clip something on the side. But I
Yeah.
suppose they take anything that can snag.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, what are exactly in those bags that he's just
I was
throwing out?
curious about that, too.
But, see, okay, I'm wrong. It's
They're-
not even one of the tent tarps, it's a parachute.
Well, yeah, I was thinking that, too. And I was also thinking, how the hell is he strapping the outside to that? So he's strapping it all to the inside just through the windows?
With bungee cords.
Well, it's not like
and
he's trying to keep
paracord.
it from flying away. It's all
No,
being forced into him, but
not at all.
I mean bungee cords, that's a bit.
And paracord.
Paracord, yeah.
Even the paracord rated for 550 pounds, I don't think would work.
What's the intercept plan?
It does not make sense. But I mean this would be, I would say that would be the legitimately, I guess, the most suspension of disbelief we have to go is that parachute is going to keep me from
Dying.
whatever. Everything else, I can live with. I mean, even the Iron Man, is probably pushing it, but
Well, it's that what I question as well, because now he's in the white suit and he's got the big ass backpack on him,
yeah,
which
Now
is
you
his
can't-
air,
that has to carry the air. Yeah,
right? So, and all the other movies, when they need to get themselves somewhere, they eject air.
Yes.
But no, I'm gonna puncture a hole in the arm of my suit.
Well, I think, like, she jumps out in one of those. She has to get in her big white suit, and then she gets into one of the
Those chair
pack-
thingies.
chair thingies, and she's out there,
Yeah.
heading that way. Where he doesn't have that.
See, at
In
least
here.
now he gets cereal and a potato.
Can he get rid of that nuclear thing?
No, it's his nuclear friend. It's
Yeah,
his
well,
friend.
it's keeping him warm at the moment, but I mean, I don't want to be doing Mach 12 or whatever it is he's going to be doing, strapped with a nuclear,
he
a
leaves-
nuclear cherry bomb.
He leaves that in the rover.
Oh, he's in the Drover. Okay, never
Yeah.
mind. Hey.
You know, he leaves that in the rover
Okay.
because he's eating his last meal and writing a note saying goodbye, Mars. You know,
A little appreciation to the wonderful buggy that got him there.
right?
A 50-day
Don't-
journey or whatever it was.
Don't destroy this. It saved my life.
Yeah.
Right? And so, at least it gives him respect that way. And the media circus. Now, this I could see actually happening.
Oh, yeah. This is totally...
The flags waving. Okay, it's the States.
Yeah.
I could see that happening. Same with Times Square.
See, this is the patriotism I can get behind, although it's unrealistic. Because I'm sure there'd be this many people claiming that it was all...
Oh, you'd have everybody saying it's a hoax, but
It's
at
a
this,
waste of money!
right, but at this point in time, too, I could see them out there doing it.
What
It's
year was this one?
this was. I'm trying to remember, and
20? 50.
it was the year 2050,
2015.
15. Okay.
Yeah. Now, what year did it take place? That's a good question, because it obviously it's beyond our...
This one probably would have been about 2020. That it would have.
What year does The Martian take place? 2035.
Ah, it was closer.
Mark Watney.
Yes.
As he becomes stranded alone on Mars. Yeah.
Right, and so
Which is a nice time frame. That's very logistically sound.
Right? It's that I could get behind. I mean, and, you know, even this part where he's trying to take care of himself hygienically. He's trying. But, you know, he's got all those sores on the side of his body and everything, and that would be hard. You can see him trying to clean himself, and it just hurts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I suppose it would be snowing in Beijing.
Beijing is China.
Yes.
So it was China, not Japan. I thought it was Japan.
So did
It
I.
was China.
It's China. But no, they were just showing it. Like, because it's all around the world right now, so they
Was that
Beijing.
just Beijing, or
Yeah.
it wasn't Japan? It
No,
was Beijing.
that was Beijing that they were showing. Just
Yes,
showing.
but it wasn't Beijing that helped him, was it? Was it China? Chinese that helped him? Because that makes more sense.
I think it was the Chinese.
Japan is much more friendly than the Chinese.
Yeah, sure.
Well, you know.
Theoretically.
You ever heard of, who was it? Was it Monty Python? I like Chinese.
Yeah, that was Monty
Come
Python.
up to my knees.
That was definitely Monty Python.
It was
Politically incorrect in every viable way.
My favorite Monty Python song was I like traffic lights. I like traffic lights. I like traffic lights, but only when they're green.
Right?
Went through all the colors. It was sick. And of course nothing rhymes with amber, but only when they're bamba.
Yeah, right? See, and the only thing that I actually remember with Monty Python, well, I remember the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
And the whole, I'm not the witch, I'm not the witch. Like, that line.
Well, most people probably know this, but you know why the cops came at the end of the Holy Grail? At the end of the movie?
Because they're running around with coconuts?
No, because they couldn't afford the final battle scene.
Oh. Okay, so I did not know this, so they called the cops on them?
According to this source, which I shall not name because I do not remember who said it, but it totally makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
So they were filming where they weren't supposed to be, so the cops came.
Yes.
I mean, he obviously had enough fuel to launch himself.
Yeah.
So, again, that makes you wonder why take everything out. Or was it just too heavy for the amount of fuel that they had?
Yeah, I missed that. I bet you if we Googled it, somebody would explain it to us.
Right? And it probably goes back to, because even I said that he didn't have enough fuel.
Yeah.
So it most likely goes back to that. But the whole tarp thing, as you can see, did not work.
Well, I mean, did it need to work any more than it did? Like, once you get out of the atmosphere, past the atmosphere, there's no wind, there's nothing to blow on you.
That's
right?
true, but it sucked that thing off before he even got up there.
Yeah.
Which is why, with the change of atmosphere too, he passes out.
Something I found interesting, and partly the reason I found it interesting, I just watched a documentary on the Blue Angels.
Okay.
So, you know, everybody knows who the American flight team with the F-18s.
Yep.
They did a segment, they talked about how they're extensively trained to deal with G-force and not blacking out because they don't wear the G-force suits.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the exact reason. There's a very specific reason that they don't do that, so they got to be extra heavy. But I noticed through all of that Matt Damon was sitting there doing those same throughout the whole thing. It was very realistic. Like,
yes,
it drew me into there.
Right, and even here, like, the thing that annoyed me with the newscasters and that is, I don't know how true it is, but it's like they have everything that's being reported to NASA right in front of them.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's not how that works.
No, I don't think there would be a direct link to whatever.
Yeah, and like I'm pretty sure that's more a case of, at that point, they're being fed information.
Yeah.
And either they've got a really big leak,
yeah,
or somebody's just like, here, we're going to put you on speakerphone.
This is yeah.
But it is 2035, so things probably changed.
You're closer to global peace.
Right? My thing is, they're still doing movies on NASA. Didn't NASA close down?
I know the shuttles have been shut down, but I think NASA still goes.
Are they? Yeah, because...
North American Space Association? What is it? What does NASA stand for? National...
I didn't think it was North
American.
American.
I was thinking NORAD and NATO, but... what does NASA stand for? National Aeronautics and Space Administration.
Sure.
You know what? We're coming into the final. I don't know. Guess what, everybody? He makes it back alive.
He does.
He does. Through a series of near risks where they come so close to not making it. It's just absolutely... He does it. I do love the fact that he makes fun of the Iron Man. Pokes a hole in his hand. He does the Iron Man.
He's the whole stance and everything, too. Well, he's... it's very reminiscent of the first Iron Man where he's trying to fly and he's, like, bouncing off of everything.
Yeah.
Except for there's nothing for him to bounce off of.
He would have died that very first time where he said 10% with the boots.
Yeah.
And Tony Stark says, okay, 10%. He would have slammed into that wall, broke every vertebrae. If he was alive, he would have been a paraplegic.
Right?
Or a quad for sure.
I mean, at least in Matt Damon's defense, there's nothing for him to bounce off of.
Yeah.
And there he says it.
And it's just a joke at this point.
But then he actually does it.
Well, it's because, I'm dead if I don't do nothing. You're guaranteed to die if you do nothing.
Right? So
doing something is better than nothing.
Right? So it is literally that do or die moment.
Unless it's velociraptors, because doing something might be worse than doing nothing.
We're not even going to talk about those.
No, we don't want to talk about those horrific movies.
Not even about the movies. Even look at it from a scientific base.
Oh, yeah.
They're still talking about bringing them back, cloning them. There's literally 6 movies about why this is a bad idea.
Oh, Jurassic Park was a movie based on every wrong decision somebody could possibly make consecutively.
Right? And they're still talking about doing it.
Yeah.
I mean...
I know when we were playing golf, a buddy of mine, Art, used to have a saying, never follow a bad shot with a dumb shot. Jurassic Park was a dumb shot, followed by a dumb idea, followed by a dumber idea, followed by a dumber plan, and on and on and on. And at no point, somebody's...
And scientists these days, and you find out, by the way, in the 4th movie, that the scientist that was in the first movie is obviously the villain.
Yeah.
And yet...
They had to make a new villain. They were running out of villains.
So we have that villain then, Elon Musk.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sure he's going to do something.
He's probably the dumbass who's going, I will give you $5 million if you can make me a dinosaur.
Do we need to finish this, or can we start talking about final thoughts?
I think we can start talking about final thoughts.
So...
This scene's going to make me sick.
Well, actually, I guess we gotta place it, because this one does have a certain room for choice.
This one does. It has a couple, actually.
I mean, you could go to the sci-fi.
Yeah.
You could go to drama.
Very much so.
Where else could we...
There's a little, depending on how you're basing it, on whose perspective, there's a little bit of comedy.
Yeah, not enough.
Not enough, but there is comedy.
Yeah. I'll say humor, just so that I don't get called out on something.
The one thing is there's no romance.
That is true. And it's almost kind of refreshing.
Yes.
There's not a need. Like, growing up as a kid, Mom would say, well, who's the woman in it? Who's the romance? Right. That was something that was, like, just assumed. And it's just like, no, this is about, that making, well, in part it's about relationships, about sacrificing yourselves for somebody else. It's
So I'll give it the relationship thing and the sacrifice, but it's more about, it's friendship. It is literally friendship.
Yeah.
This, like, even this point in the scene, like, we're talking about placing it, and we're just letting it finish running in the background. This is the only romantic scene in the whole movie.
Closest thing to romance, and
Yes.
it's, yeah.
So, I don't know. If it was me, I would honestly put this one in drama.
I have to agree. There's the science fiction, which is sound as far as, like, it's fiction, but it's plausible. It's as plausible as one can be without being real.
Yep.
The drama overtakes it. Matt Damon's situation, overcoming the odds, the astronauts deciding to work together.
Right.
It's
I mean,
definitely has to go in drama.
Right, and see, and I say it has to go in drama because even taking in the scientific element of it,
Yeah.
it's got enough realism in the science that makes it a drama.
Yeah, I totally 100% agree. I wouldn't argue if somebody wanted to put it in sci-fi. Well, I might say something, but I wouldn't argue at all.
I would. I would
I'd
totally
say, are you
argue
sure
that.
you want to do that? I mean, really? Because, okay.
Right.
So, yeah.
But, you know, if they're wanting to put it in sci-fi, then they're looking at something that we're not.
And that comes down to perspective. You know, where we all look at movies in a different perspective, in a different light.
Right.
I mean,
But for me, what sets off a drama is the first scene of the movie. So the very first scene of this movie, we had a very dramatic experience. It's drama from there on out.
That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, I'd have to take note of that now because I don't know if I could say every movie I could categorize that, or is this just this movie?
Right. So some of them, like, they'll start off that way, but it's the sequences that follow after too. So you have that very dramatic scene, and then it's all of a sudden like, I'm alone. What do I do? How do I survive?
Yeah.
It's building the drama.
We come in and we start off the whole movie with the catastrophe.
Yes.
Storm that blow everything up. Bang, bang, bang. The energy's going. We get a big tempo. The pacing's clipping along. We're waiting for Michael Bay to jump around the side, and
There's nothing.
and then it just calms into a quick nothing.
Yeah.
We're away. He's dead. It is what it is.
Yep.
Let's go. And then we discover, and that's where, and I think the pacing of it, the tempo of it is really defines it to go into a drama.
Yes.
We have some action elements, but they're not enough to.
Right, and the action elements are so far and in between that it cannot be classified as an action.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
I like the casting too. That they're nothing's stereotypical, nothing's obvious. We have, a woman commander and all this other stuff. Nothing feels forced.
Right.
Everything feels organic.
See, and I can say the whole rescue thing, that was about the only thing that I felt was too overpowering. And it's coming from a female, too overpowering. Oh, female lead, I have to be the hero.
Yeah. Well, I see your point there, and I feel like, this is the classic guilt trip, right?
Yes.
Her trying to deal with her guilt. If somebody's going to die, it's going to be me.
Yeah,
it's not going to be you.
Yeah, I'm not losing another teammate.
Whether it's Bruce Willis stuffing Ben Affleck into the canister and ripping off his thing, take care of my daughter.
But in that case, and I will refer to Tarma and get it on that one. In that case, it's not so much of a, this is my time, I'm going to be the hero. It's more of a case of, I'm old enough, I've lived my life.
Yeah.
You go live yours. You're supposed to be with my daughter.
Yeah.
So you go live, let me do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's different than this whole thing. But, again, that's part of what gives us a huge part of what gives us our drama. This is, at this point, with the whole rescuing thing, is what gives us our suspense.
Yeah.
But, again, it's still a drama movie.
Would it made the movie if we ended in a tragedy, and he didn't quite make it?
It would change it.
Because was it Mission to Mars where Tim, the actor, this is the one with Gary Sinise.
Yeah.
And Tim, what's his name? I can't remember his name. Married to Susan Sarandon.
Yep.
Yeah, and he sacrifices, and it's just like that. He opens his face because I don't want you to risk your lives to save me.
Yeah.
It was another great scene.
Yeah, because he was out in space and they're trying to figure out how to get him back in, and he's like, "You're not doing it." And yeah.
Funny, I went to Susan Sarandon, but I never brought up the idea of Shawshank Redemption.
Right.
Wish I should have gone there, having a penis. So. But anyway.
But I get it. So we know where we're placing it. You and I can agree on that. Mike, what are your thoughts on this movie?
This is as solid and strong as a movie as you can almost make. People, I don't believe in a 10 out of 10. Masterpieces are done by innovation and changing the world around what they do. I think this is as good as a movies you can make with the subject matter in which it was given, and the acting was phenomenal. It was nuanced, it was subtle, it was everything we looked for, the charisma, the character. I defy anybody to say there was a real weak spot in the acting, in the characters. So, it's an awe-inspiring movie. It feels good. It's everything good about it. So I have to. I'm gonna give it. I don't want to give it a 10, but I kind of have to. It's tough because what would I do different? What would I do different? There's nothing I can look at this movie and say, well, if I was doing it, if they just would have moved that or did that, or that one scream was off. I don't think, as a first time watch, this is a 10 out of 10. As a third time watch, I'm still going to give it a 10 on both levels, because I don't see how you could change it in any way. For what it is, it's as good. It is as good as what the Green Book was for it, as it is for itself. Yes. There we go.
See, and I have to agree with you. I mean, it's this one. Like, Mike, you're starting to figure me out quite easily. I am definitely. Give me a good horror movie. I love a good horror movie.
Yeah.
Give me a true story. I love a true story. I'm not really the in-betweens.
Yeah.
But this one caught my attention, and I liked it. And it's enough that it was one that I could agree to watch again without bitching and complaining about it. So I won't give it as high as the rating as Green Book. Green Book was still, by far, that one is a 10 for me.
Yeah.
This one does still get a solid 9.5 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
And the only reason is it has some of that true element, but it's not.
It's a science fiction disguised as a true story.
Yes.
And I like that. I was thinking about that earlier.
Yes.
It's a science fiction disguised as a true story.
Yes. Now, and, one of the parts that I absolutely loved about it is the final scene with Matt Damon and everything. And the only reason why it's one of my favorite scenes is it very much reminds me of his character. Just that snarkiness and I'm a know-it-all from Good Will Hunting.
I bet you, and I've seen this on TikTok, people are connecting actors from different movies. And I'm wondering if somebody could do that, can turn Good Will Hunting into Jason Bourne, and these are all the same person, but you don't know it.
For me, this one would be more realistic doing that, because it's like, okay, you know what, I'm just a know-it-all. I'm so freaking smart when I'm younger, but this is me now grown up.
Yeah.
Like, I actually had to grow up. I had to evolve. I had to.
Yeah.
So.
Last question before we sign off. What's Matt Damon's best role, and what's your favorite role?
For Matt Damon?
Yeah.
One of the ones that he's most known for is, as much as I hate to say it, The character that he plays in Dogma.
Okay. That's your favorite?
No.
That's
No.
your that you think that's his best?
No, that is
Oh.
one of the ones he's best known
Okay,
for.
best known for.
Best, what I think would be his best is actually, well, his character in Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
For him, that is a go-to. I will watch that one any day of the week.
Yeah.
What about you, Mike? Sorry, I'm waiting to see if there's a spy coming.
I had a clear decision, but then the more I thought about Saving Private Ryan and Good Will Hunting. They're kind of in that world of similarities for me. I think those are absolutely, they're my favorite. And they're probably as much as his best, because his best and his fifth best are minute apart.
They are. See, and for me, I would have never thought of Saving Private Ryan, because that's more Tom Hanks. That is his movie.
Yeah, you're not a war person.
And I'm not a war person. I know Matt Damon's in it.
Yeah.
And I have seen Saving Private Ryan. I mean, I have a very boring husband. But that is totally Tom Hanks. That movie is about him, not about Matt Damon's character.
Right. You know, so, it was fun. It was just me and Laura tonight, so that's good. Those unfortunate losers of hockey are off, probably drowning their sorrows in
his
coffee
name
and beer.
And his name is Wong. His name is Benedict Wong.
Oh, there. So we'll leave you that last bit of bite of information that Wong from MCU is also Wong
in real life.
In real life. So, cheers, everyone. Good night.
Is that it?